Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Power Selling Podcast. I'm your host, Danna Crawford, the Power Selling Mom. And today we have a very special guest, and she has an awesome listing party over at List Perfectly. So you've got to tune in and let's get started. Okay, so Jill, I've been really looking forward to this. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Jill Mustachia. I run an online e-commerce business called Rusted Truck Relics. I have been doing this full time with part-time hours. Is that how it works? Anyway, I have a full-time job as well that I work 9 to 5. And so, but I do put in almost full-time hours at this business as well. And I've been doing that since 2021, March of 2021. So fairly new, but thanks to List Perfectly, I'm growing quite fast. And that's been good. As fast as I can handle anyway. So that's
sure.
Good. Yeah.
I'd like to hear about your name, Rusted Truck Relics. So where did that come from?
So I have a truck. The truck that's in my logo is in my backyard.
Okay.
It's a family heirloom. It was my dad's, and he was always going to fix it up. And we moved it from Wyoming to North Dakota with us. And we were moving back to Wyoming from North Dakota. We were in the oil field. And my dad sold it to someone because he said, I'm just never going to have time. I'm not going to get it done. And so he sold the truck. And then several years later, we were sitting having coffee together in his dining room, and this flatbed truck and trailer pulled up with this truck on it. And the gentleman who he had sold it to was a family friend, and he was diagnosed with cancer and was terminal. And so he said nobody else deserved to have that truck but my dad. And so he sent it back to us. And it was really neat. So it's been in the family. My brother and I would like to restore it, but money and time are not always available, but we would like to restore it someday. And so it sits back there, and I was trying to come up with a name. My focus is a lot of antiques. My mom was in the antiques business for years. I've grown up in it. And so I just said, you know what, this is what I'm going to call it, and went with it. And originally, when my husband and I started the business, we were going to buy furniture and home decor and flip it and modernize it and change it. And then we started selling on eBay, and that took off, and we just never have looked back. We still have a storage unit full of furniture that someday we'd like to fix up or at least get rid of it. But, we started collecting things to repair and fix up and sell, and just haven't ever gotten to that. Back to it, but that was why the Rusted Truck Relics kind of all played into it. But yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
what a touching story too.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
and
the family history.
My dad has since passed, and so we're hoping that someday we can restore it.
But what a lovely story! Thanks for sharing. That makes it even more special.
Well,
I think
it doesn't necessarily make sense in the reselling world, but when you hear the story, then you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So
right. I think it's gorgeous. Yeah, people might think you're selling old used truck parts or something.
Yeah. For sure.
But well, that's great. And then someday you'll get to is it a barn that your furniture's in?
It's just a storage unit.
Okay.
Well, probably, I don't know if we ever will get back to that idea, just because we've done so well at eBay and selling online that we may just continue in that.
So how did you get into reselling?
So originally, I started selling in 99 originally when my daughter was little because baby clothes were so expensive.
Yeah.
So I would buy big lots on there and pull out what she could wear and then turn around and sell them after she grew out of them. And I bought and sold baby clothes for several years. Anything around the house. And then I kind of got out of it. But like I said, my mother was in the antiques business. My dad would go to auctions and, buy stuff for her. And so when my dad passed away, we moved into this house with my mom to help her take care of it. And so the house is full of vintage antiques, collectibles, all that. And so when she passed away, I just, decided, hey, two things. Decided to do that. And then COVID hit and needed to make a little extra money. My job had sent me home to work from home. We just needed a little extra money. And so I thought, what, I'm just going to start selling some of this stuff around here. And then pretty soon I started yard selling and thrift shopping. And here we are. 4 years later.
Got the bug.
Yes, for sure. So, um, yeah.
That's
I've
wonderful.
just kind of always been in, I've always had some side business. I've
Okay.
done Avon several times, Mary Kay,
Oh,
Christmas Around the
Mary
World. I
Kay.
was always into that kind of thing, but it was never my jam. It just
Yeah.
never fit. And this
Uh-huh.
was the first time when I did something that like I was successful at it and I was good at it and I enjoy it. I really just enjoy, and I love the community, so I made some
Yes.
great friends. So that's, why I'm still here.
Yep.
And will
Yep.
be forever, probably. This is kind of our retirement plan now at this point.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's funny. I haven't heard Mary Kay in a long time.
Long time. Yeah, they're still around. Yeah.
Yeah. I see a pink car every once in a while.
Yep. They're out there. Yeah, I was never successful at Mary Kay,
Yeah.
just so you know.
It's hard.
I
I
just,
had been to a few of their events and
but there's several things I took away from Mary Kay that has helped me in my business.
sure.
One was, the getting up every morning and getting dressed and shoes on and prepared for the day, like you were running your business, like it was a job.
You're
And,
right.
I think resellers, especially, we have a tendency to stay in our jammies and,
Yes.
but I just don't think I didn't anyway. For me, I didn't take it as seriously as when I treated it like a business. And so I had to
That's
actually
right.
get dressed. And I
Yeah.
did the same thing when my job sent me home to work during COVID. I the whole time I was never in sweats. I was dressed just like I was going to the office every single day, and I knew it's just because I needed to feel like I was at work,
Sure.
so that I could stay focused and actually work. And I'm
That's
still
right.
working from home. I'm still working remotely. They've left us home now, so
Nice.
it's nice. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's really
nice.
easy to do both.
And you can be with family and
Uh-huh.
do what you need. Do what you need with the family, and that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, how do you balance it all? Your full-time job on eBay or on reselling, your full-time job that you're working from home? I mean, my goodness.
Well, the two go well together in a way. I happen to do billing for Republic Services, which is a national garbage company.
Okay.
And so we're really focused on sustainability and, not filling up our landfills. And so
Right.
it just kind of works really well together. They know what I do. I'm an advocate for reusing things and not just filling up our landfills because, of course, firsthand knowledge, I know how fast they're filling up,
Right. Wow.
what happens to our environment because of, waste
Right.
that we all have so much of. So, but balancing it, it's a lot of very, I don't want to say strict, but time blocking.
Okay.
Manage my time really well. I try to fit in an hour of work before I actually start my 9 to 5 job. Every
Mm-hmm.
morning, I do mastermind and I cross post during mastermind every morning. And then my lunch hour is usually spent, at least half of it is spent photographing or something to prepare for the night. And then at 5 o'clock, I get off work and I cook dinner and spend a couple hours with my family. And then from about 7 till 11 at night, I work the business full time. I list between 10 and 20 items every night.
Wow.
And then I fill in on Saturdays, depending on how the week went, Saturdays or Sundays, but I try to take at least one of those off.
Uh-huh.
And so I still have a pretty good work-life balance, even though I'm working a lot.
Yeah.
But I love the reselling, so it doesn't quite feel like work.
It's not work, right?
No, when you
That's
find
right.
something that's fun to do, it doesn't
That's
feel
right.
like work. But it does take, there are days I notice by Friday night listing party that I do every Friday called Sip and List.
Yes.
And there are some weeks that I am very tired by that point. And so some weeks my Friday nights aren't as productive as others. But it's fun to, hang out with everybody and chit
Yeah.
chat. So I'm still there, but yes, there are weeks that I just hit a wall by about Friday night. So when that happens, I usually try to take Saturday off.
Okay. So tell me about your listing party. So listing party is on Friday nights and it's called Sip and List. I love that. So what are we sipping?
Sipping whatever you want to sip. So it can be an adult beverage. We have people that come and drink water. We have coffee. And the reason how it started was last year in December. I know that December is a very lonely time for a lot of people, especially resellers. So we started this Friday night thing called December Silent Nights.
Oh,
And the idea was that we got together every Friday night and we worked in silence. We played music, so there was stuff going on, but we didn't like do a lot of chit chat. It was to actually get stuff done.
okay.
And then every half hour or so, we would break and play trivia or something.
Oh, nice.
We played Jeopardy one night, and we had so much fun in December that everybody's like, we need to keep doing this. And so that's why we changed it to Sip and List. And some nights we're very focused on working. Like this week, past week, it was really quiet. Everybody worked really hard. Not a lot of chit chat, but like a couple weeks before that, it was a party and it was fun and happy, and you just never know what you're going to come into.
Sure.
So it kind of depends on who's there, but we usually have between 7 and 15 people that type of pop in off and on. Teresa has it scheduled like every 2 hours. So there's a link, and so that you can come in and out all night long.
Okay.
And yeah, it's fun.
That's great. So yeah, for those wondering, you can just go to listingparty.com. And as long as you're a subscriber from List Perfectly, it's totally free to join a listing party. And I'll have to pop in. I just started going out, treating myself on Friday night. So
nice.
I just started that. So Friday nights, I actually go and have a margarita and then come home. But I think you have to reward yourself every now and then.
You do. And I had gotten to where I wasn't doing much of that. So
yes.
I've been focused on, taking some time to read a book. I hadn't read a book in forever. So
I haven't either.
Actually reading a book with a book club and having fun doing that. So
you got in a book club too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's an online book club, but
yeah,
it's fun. We meet on Zoom and
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You're like Wonder Woman. That's amazing.
You just have to focus. It's not, anybody can do it. And there are weeks where I'm not very successful at it, and there are weeks that I'm quite successful at it.
Sure.
I don't beat myself up over it. Just give yourself grace and do what you can do.
That's
Good processes in place. That's part of it. Working with Trish in Mastermind, we went over SOPs, which is your statement of process. And I actually have, when an item comes in, this is where it goes, this is what you do, and I have it all kind of mapped out. I just recently have reworked my office. I'm in progress of doing that. It's not quite done yet.
Yeah.
But that is changing a lot of those processes, but making it way more efficient.
Good.
And so I've just had to, a lot of that kind of stuff. I owe a lot of what I can do to List Perfectly. Honestly, I couldn't cross post. Yeah, and now with Express Lister, I can list twice as much in half the time. So
it's amazing, right?
There's so many things that has it just totally. In fact, it has changed so much that I'm not catching up with it. I haven't realized my full potential yet because I'm still like, I list 10 a day. I can't do 20. And I really can do 20, but I'm just not there yet. So in my head, actually, my photography is slowing me up. So I might need to hire a photographer or something.
Yeah, this weekend I actually had my daughter-in-law and my son taking photos and doing power listing because I have a lot to get caught up with myself. And it's amazing how fast, if you get some people, I spoke to a lady yesterday, she had her 11-year-old taking the photos. So
it can be done.
Yeah.
My daughter was helping me adjust it to doing more of the housework for me because she just really wasn't into the
it's not for all the
this wasn't a thing, and I'm like, you know what, that's okay.
Yeah,
these are the things I need done, can you help? And so she's just, because they live with me and my husband, they live with us, so she is just kind of taking on a lot more of the housework, which is nice.
That's great. Yeah, pitch in.
Then my house doesn't become a disaster while I'm working.
Right.
Right.
Well, with that said, what kind of challenges is that? One of the challenges, or
challenges is definitely that remembering to take time for family and myself.
Okay.
Is a challenge. Having enough time in the day. Sourcing is a challenge for me.
Okay.
I have not had my knee surgery yet that I need to have. And so going out sourcing for long days doesn't work. And I don't have a lot of sourcing here in town. So I really need to find some online resources to be able to source. So I am doing consignment.
Oh,
and
good.
So that has helped. It keeps me going.
Yeah, that's right.
Times. So that has been a great help. I really just doing it all, but yet, knowing that it's okay if I don't. That's the hardest thing because nobody's harder on yourself than yourself. So yeah, you really have to watch that. But challenges. But most of my challenges, every time LP comes out with something new, it seems to help with one of my challenges. So
that's right.
That's exciting. That's
it kind of lights a fire under you too.
Yes.
Gets you excited. I know I do. Yes. I get excited. It's like, oh, this is coming. You wouldn't believe what else is coming. It's it's like, wow. Wow.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing the things they've come out with to help us as resellers. And I'm just so appreciative, as I know you are too.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, so you basically have described how you've overcome these challenges. So you want to go into more details? What's helped?
Communication is one of my big things that I had to communicate to my family what I needed.
Okay.
I reached out and found mentors and friends that helped push me along.
Compliment you.
That compliment me, exactly. That's a perfect word for it, actually, is the people that have really inspired me to do better without the complaining and the you see a lot in the Facebook groups, a lot of reseller groups. You just have to pick and choose what you follow because they have a tendency to get negative, especially about some of the platforms. And I understand they're frustrating, but I try not to live in that space.
That's right.
So I found a great, what I call my tribe of people. And I know I sound like a broken, but all thanks to LP and Listing Party. I have friends that I literally talk to. Well, we chat. We have group chats that I talk to daily. I would have never met.
That's right.
I just probably, might have. Because I do go to some of the events. I've gone to the Boss Reseller Remix and Camp Listing Party and those, but I may not have met them if it wasn't for Listing Party. Right. And we literally are, ride or die type friends.
That's so great.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, I remember I had the honor to ride around in the car with you and your husband after Camp Listing Party, and we went sourcing.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, that was fun.
His mom and dad quit fighting. I was thankful of that.
Pardon me?
You kept telling his mom and dad quit fighting. Remember, I told you that your husband and I don't always do well directions together. So
that's right.
Yeah,
mom and dad. That's right. I forgot about that. That's so funny. We had a good time, though. That was really great.
And I do every time I'm with a group of resellers. I'm just always amazed. Like I said, I've been in several businesses. I've gone to Avon conventions. I've gone to Mary Kay conventions, Creative Memories. Never have I felt the camaraderie and the just really people having your back.
That's right.
Also having the reseller community. And I don't know why. There's still people.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a different breed of people.
It is. And we all like to help each other. Mm-hmm. We all like to give each other advice and help each other and share. No one knows everything, and we like to share our experiences. And that's why I love the community so much myself.
I learn something new every day.
That's right. Or you die.
Yep.
That's my motto. But if you participate in all of these things and you learn and then you get help, the customer service on List Perfectly is amazing. And the community combined. I have never had, I've been very frustrated with the program a time or two. I hate to admit it, but at least it's okay.
75% of the time, it's user error.
Yeah.
But they never make me feel bad about that. They can say, you just have to go here and do this. And I'm always like, but they never make you feel bad. Pat is absolutely amazing.
Isn't he?
With people. He never makes you feel stupid for the questions you ask.
Yes.
And they're just, it's just a great group of people. I haven't had to put in too many tickets or have too many issues, thank goodness.
Good.
But I belong to a good group of people that have usually worked all that out.
That's right.
Before I get on at night, and they let me know how to fix it, and
that's it. So, again, the community. The community is amazing. Sure. So tell me, what kind of platforms do you sell on then?
I sell on
marketplaces.
eBay, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Etsy.
Okay.
Citizen are the 5 that I currently do. My daughter may start helping with some cross posting because she is really good on the computer. So,
Okay.
I mean, she could just sit and do that while she's, playing my
Sure.
granddaughter or something. So she may start, and then we may start adding in Depop and some of those. My problem with all of them is kind of knowing what should go on those, where the others, I pretty much just list everything.
Yeah.
Of course, Poshmark, I have to watch the weight limit because I do sell a lot of collectibles.
Oh, do you?
Heavier things, cookie jars that are over the 5 pounds. So
yeah,
I've been burned a time or two on those early on. So I'm really careful
on Poshmark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the whole weight thing. But I like those 5. eBay's
okay.
eBay's my big one. That's
Is it
90% of my business? Yeah.
okay?
I don't cross post enough to the others consistently enough.
Okay.
I really
I think Grailed and Depop. I've had sales on all of them, but Grailed and Depop, I think I do well with the T-shirts. Those kind of things are the younger generation of clothing kind of thing. But
except we were talking yesterday, and Crystal Mouse was saying that, how'd she put it? That the young crowd on Depop likes the Alfred Dunner Stunners.
No way! No way!
I would never put an Alfred Dunner on there.
I never thought. I'll go raid my mother's closet now.
There you go. Yeah, she says they love them. It just blows my mind. But
that is crazy.
I see it online. I'm wearing some of that stuff sometimes. I'm just like, hi.
Now, Vestiaire,
that I watch.
Vestiaire would never accept an Alfred Dunner.
No, that one's probably way. I don't. Would like to have high end stuff, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I also don't know that I would like to because I'm not an expert at it and the whole authentication process and just things that are faked. I don't know.
It's not hard though. In your consignment business though, you could advertise to try to get some higher end items because it does pay off. But the nice thing about Vestiaire, Grailed, especially Grailed, if you have those tags, close-ups of all them tags, every tag that's in the garment, they will identify it for you and they'll tell you if it's authentic or not.
Oh, that's nice.
So so that's what's nice about it, because if it comes back denied, then you think, I better get that off eBay.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to get in trouble. Yeah.
I sold a Hermes scarf on eBay that I wasn't 100% sure of. I was a little nervous, but it sold. Yeah, it sold, and the lady got it, and she says she has several, and it was for sure authentic, and she was so happy. And I got it at the bins in Las Vegas, so I paid 50 cents at most.
Wow.
And sold it for $195, I think.
Love it.
So that was pretty cool. But
Love it.
I was nervous the whole time.
Right.
I sat on it for a long time too. I didn't list it right away because I was just like, oh, what if it's fake? But everything looked good. The tags, everything looked perfect. Like it has to be.
So any other items you sold that have been of an interest?
I sold a really small, about that big, pink Pyrex bowl that I paid $1 at a yard sale.
Pink?
And I had listed it pink Pyrex. Yeah. So it was just really light pink. It wasn't in very good shape. It had been put in the dishwasher, you could tell. And I put it on auction with a buy it now of $175, and it sold within minutes for the $175.
Wow. It was a rare one.
It must have been, yeah. But
it was a rare.
That's what it comped at. It comped at
pink.
That. So I was happy. I paid $1.
Oh, sure.
I
love it.
Paid $3 for a t-shirt at one of our local shops here. It was from a tattoo festival in Vegas in the 90s. Nothing spectacular. It wasn't single stitch, but I listed that and it sold pretty quickly for $95, which for me was a lot. That was one of my very first sales.
Love it.
We bought out a plus size lot of clothing from an estate that had several pieces of I almost forgot the name, Johnny Was.
Yep.
Items, which I hear we're having problems with some people, so I'm like, I'm glad mine are sold. But they sold 6 different tops, and I think the lowest one was $95. Most of them were
nice.
$100, $150, and I paid $1 per item at that.
Wow. Point. And where'd you find those?
Here in town, and a lady that she'd been sick for quite a while, so she'd kind of been homebound, but she used to work a lot. And I guess she had a shopping addiction, and she had closets full of, and she was plus size. She was about an 18, 20. And so she had, very desirable. And her son was trying to have this estate sale, and she had so many clothes. The first day I went in, I paid a little more, but they were just crammed in closets where literally I was climbing over clothes in this closet to get to them, but picked out a whole bunch. And then I gave him my card and I said, I'm a reseller. So when you're done, if you have anything, let me know. And he didn't ever call me. They had given me his phone number. He actually called me because he needed the air conditioner fixed in the house. And that's kind of what my husband used to do.
Oh.
And so I had asked him when I called to get a hold of my husband, I said, do you still have stuff? And he says, I have tons. I'm having another yard sale this weekend. Well, I happen to have been going out of town. No. And he's like, well, you can come over Thursday night if you want. So we drove out there. And I hand-picked over 200 pieces.
Pre-sale?
Yep, pre-sale at $1 a piece.
Wow.
And we were talking, I got fry boots. I had 3 pair of fry boots for $1 a pair.
No way.
And the 6 or 7 Johnny Was shirts were in there.
Wow.
I made so much money on that buyout.
That's great.
But, and probably got about 250 items total. And then after that, we went to another estate sale. It was being run by the caregiver of the lady. It wasn't even her family. They had just said, get rid of her stuff.
Oh.
And she was an extra small or a small.
Oh.
But I handed in the card as I was leaving. I bought a few pieces. And then when I was leaving, because they were selling it for like 50 cents an item. I said, when you're done, I'm interested in buying what you have left. In about 2 hours, I was still unloading the car from my first buy from them. And she called me and said, what do you think, $100, $200? And I said, yeah, that sounds good. So I went and paid, I think I paid $150 we ended up settling on.
Okay.
I filled the back end of my husband's pickup and my entire SUV. I drive a Ford Edge.
Wow.
Filled it with bags of clothes. And I still have some items hanging on my.
You're still sorting. Wow.
I'm pretty much through it now, but that lasted me almost 2 years.
God, I love it. Oh my gosh.
$150. And so it ended up being like a quarter an item or some crazy thing,
So you sound very disciplined. You sound very disciplined that you won't go out and sort.
I try not to. Yeah, I try to always, like with her, I'll do the buyouts that are kind of like that. I didn't know what all was in there because I just literally took what was left and they were just piling bags full of clothes. But I'd already like pre-searched, pre-shopped. And so I knew that most of her brands were going to be Chico's. I mean, they weren't high dollar items.
Yeah.
But it was a Chico's here and there, a bunch of Brenda French, which I didn't know. It's like an Italian designer. She had samples. She had like salesman samples.
Oh, wow.
From this designer. And those were pretty high. They were pretty good items. I'd never heard of them. They were weird sizing. It was just so hard to list, but they sold really well. But she had a lot of Coldwater Creek and, that higher end, like mall brand type stuff. So it wasn't, home runs, but
it adds up.
She was a Pillsbury Doughboy collector. So she had a whole collection of sweatshirts and t-shirts, and every one of those has sold for $50 more.
Sure.
Like I didn't realize, but there's a whole collector group.
Yeah, there is. There is.
That was crazy. That was fun.
What an education too.
Yeah, well, that's why I like buying those kind of buyouts like that. You learn, okay, that's not worth listing, if I can't list it, if it's clean and in good shape, if it's not going to make me anything, I just donate it. I have a couple of local charities I like. There's an animal one, and then there's, depending on the style, but there's a foster care closet called here for all the kids in the Big Brothers program, or that are in the foster care program where they can actually get clothes for free.
Oh, so nice.
I donate to that a lot.
Sure. Oh, that's great. Oh, those are great. Thanks for sharing that. It's so interesting. I love hearing stories like that.
That's the fun part of the business. I'm at a point now where I need to start finding some good deals. So I'm going to have to do some estate sales. I have a couple of really good estate sale companies here that I need to go make a connection with. And
that's right.
I like doing the buyouts because you just get a whole bunch all at once, and it's not like onesie twosies like thrift shopping.
That's right.
So that's what I prefer to do.
Very, very good. So does your husband help you at all with the business?
Yes, so my inventory is stored off-site because we were just getting so full in the house. So we did move most of it off-site. So he pulls my orders every day for me and then takes them to the post office, does some of my shipping. He had to go back to work in January. He had a business and we lost a big contract in January. So he went back to work. He's just working at Walmart. It's just for about a year till we can get to where he can actually retire. And then he will come back to work with me. We tried it last June. He quit and tried it till December until we lost that contract. But he fixes things for me and photographs. He doesn't like doing clothing, which I don't blame him, but he does really well photographing hard goods and stuff like that.
What about the shipping?
I'm pretty hands-on with shipping, but both my daughter and my husband, like today, they did my shipping.
Okay.
Just now while I'm in here, they pulled the orders and so they all know how.
Okay.
So when I leave on vacation or something, my daughter can run the
business.
Nice.
So you don't have to put your store on vacation. Isn't that nice?
Very nice. Yeah. Unless we ever go together, I guess that might not work, but so far I haven't had to do that. So
good.
She's really good. She helps me put inventory away a lot. So she also knows my whole system, which that helps because so it's a family business for sure.
Love it. Well, any final words, Jill?
I just so the one thing about the working full time and having a business, it can be done. And I know it has always bothered me a little bit that the first thing that people, when you say you're a reseller, say to you is, don't you want to quit your job? I don't want to quit my job. I quite like my job. And they work well together and you can do it. And I just want people that are working that maybe, you don't have to quit your job if you don't want to. You can do both. And like I said earlier, this is kind of our retirement plan. We're going to build this business up to where it'll just take us through at whatever level we want.
That's right. Whatever level you want. And you can pass it down.
And find your tribe. Go out and find your people. Don't do this alone.
Never list alone. So speaking of which, do you have a referral code?
I do.
For List Perfectly?
It is, my referral code is Rusted, just RUSTED.
Okay.
And so,
Perfect. So that, just for those tuning in, that'll give you 30% off the first month of List Perfectly. And you just type in the word Rusted for the coupon code and you'll get 30% off the first month. And then as soon as you sign up, come join Sip and List on Friday nights.
Either let us know. Or Mastermind every morning. There are so many fun parties. And tonight, today's Wednesday, right? So tonight is the Creative Conversations with Star Bryson. And Dawn of the Dawn Foundation.
Dawn.
So that's a fun one. We craft some nights we don't. Some nights we actually work. But the idea was if you are crafty or there's something you like to do, come do that for a little bit and take a break from reselling if you want.
That's great.
So,
I love it. Okay, well, I hope we get to see everybody at the listing party.
Thank you for having me, Danna. This was fun.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jill is such a sweetheart. She also was a guest on the List Perfectly YouTube channel, so you might want to go check that out. Go do a search for List Perfectly over on YouTube and find Jill, because it was a great interview over there that she had. We can't thank List Perfectly enough for making this podcast possible. You can tune in anytime, and please subscribe and like. I appreciate your support, and leave a comment. And until next time, I'm Danna Crawford, the Power Selling Mom, and you're listening to the Power Selling Podcast. Happy online selling. Bye.